In Time magazine earlier this year, there was an interview with George Lucas. He said, "I think there is a God. I'm not sure. I don't know what he is, what he looks like. I'm not sure about him." That's maybe how you feel tonight. I want to tell you about him tonight. I want to tell you about God. The first verse in the Bible tells us, "In the beginning, God." Now, where did God come from? How could he just suddenly appear? And in the beginning there was God. I don't know. Neither do you. The Bible says that he's from everlasting to everlasting. How can that be? I don't know. There's a mystery to it all. And yet by faith we believe that God had no beginning and he has no end. And the verse that Mary Lou Retton left us with, John 3:16, I suppose I've preached on that verse more than any other. And when she stood up here and said that a few minutes ago, my heart thrilled. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Think of that. The population of the world this past week just passed 6 billion. And they showed a little baby on the screen. I don't know how they found that baby. He was the 6 billionth person, apparently, according to whoever was writing the story for the television. And it's said that in the next millennium, we probably will go to 10 to 12 billion people. And we're told in the same interview that we can't support the 6 billion that now live. We don't have enough water. We don't have enough of many things. And yet they're talking about even more. And there's so much suffering in the world. There's disease, poverty, war, racism, hate, loneliness, boredom, unemployment, divorce, AIDS, psychological problems, murder statistics, moral problems. This passage says, "For God." I cannot even prove to you the existence of God. No scientist can. How do we know there's a God? You can't put him in a test tube. You can't make a mathematical formula of him as Einstein did in relativity. You accept by faith that he is the creator of the whole universe. When Charles Lindbergh took his plane, the Spirit of St. Louis, all the stars that he could see spread over the entire sky were just part of our Milky Way, just our little galaxy. But that galaxy is just one tiny part of a universe containing billions of galaxies. And they found now that there are galaxies beyond what they thought was the last one, with billions and billions and billions of planets and stars and suns. And last January, astronomers saw a gamma ray burst that came from way beyond the galaxy. It originated 9 billion light years away. How long would that be? Count it up, you mathematicians. 1 light year is almost 6 trillion miles. Do you know what a trillion is? I don't. But the Bible says, in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. And the psalmist said, when I consider the heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained. The Bible says in Psalm 33, by the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. Think of it. And then the Bible teaches in this same passage, the 3rd chapter of John, or the next chapter, I guess it's in the 4th chapter, that God is a spirit. God is a spirit. He doesn't have a body like you and me. He's not located in just one place. He's all over the world, all over the universe at the same time. He's not limited by a body. He is spirit. How do you explain that? I don't. But the Bible says something else about him. The Bible says, I am the Lord, I change not. He's unchanging. In all these centuries and trillions of years, he's never changed one iota. In him there is no variableness, neither shadow of turning, the Bible says. God does not change. The Bible also teaches that God is a holy God. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. The Bible says, thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. God is absolute purity. I remember when I was a boy in North Carolina, we would all look forward to the day when maybe we'd have a little bit of snow. We didn't get much snow in the place I lived, but boy, when it came, we were excited. And I remember my mother pointed out something to us one day when the snow came. She put out some washing, some sheets and towels and shirts and things to hang out. But when the sun came out, it would dry. And then she said, look at the snow. Don't you think it's clean and white? And look at the clothes. The clothes that she had washed, that we thought were perfectly white, were now dirty in comparison to that snow. And that's the way we are. In comparison to God, we're dirty. He is absolute holy. But the Bible also teaches that God is a God of judgment. The Bible says it is appointed unto men once to die, but after that is the judgment. There is going to be a time of judgment. And the Bible says that God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. The Bible says, Jesus said, every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account in the day of judgment. Think of it, every idle word that you say, or the things that you think, are going to be at the judgment. You know, when we break a law here, we have to pay a price. Maybe we get a ticket, or maybe we have to go to court, and we have to make it right. And in the sight of God,